But I bought it like this because I was like, just in case, there's a Star Wars marathon on, I gotta watch it, I gotta record something else, there's a Firefly marathon on, I'm trying to record all this stuff.
You know what I love the most about recording this stuff and doing the playback on it is, like if you're gonna watch a Bengals game, if they were ever on TV, like they're playing away, and you want to watch the game, you can just take the fast forward, just notch it up one, so the game plays like at 50% faster.
Yeah.
It's so much nicer to watch it that way.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you wait, most games are 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
If you wait till about an hour in the game to start watching it, you can almost just end it at perfect timing without watching
If I start the game at halftime, watching it, okay, by the time I get to the end of the game, I will be live.
Yeah.
Yes, that's usually
Skipping commercials.
you wait,
That's the way to do it.
I think it's 15 minutes after a live program starts, maybe 20 minutes. There's a certain cutoff, and it varies by channel, but like ABC, NBC, CBS, whatever. If you start the show 15 or 20 minutes after it starts, if you start watching it, by the time you get through the commercials, you've caught up to live at the end of the show.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about Media Center, and it's probably one of the dumbest features they have, but when my Media Center is in screensaver mode, I have it set to pull a folder off of my home server that has all our family pictures in it, right? And it just starts like doing this like cascading thing.
Yeah, it's
and
really
it just
cool.
and it like zooms in on a picture, starts going through the folder, and then zooms out, and it's like seamless. And whenever we have people
Didn't
over,
they steal that feature from Mac?
no, actually Mac stole it from them.
It actually was in Media Center 2005 as an ad.
But it's actually when we have guests over the house, we'll turn on the TVs and let the screensaver run.
Yeah.
And I think it's hilarious because so many people will find them sitting at the TV just watching the pictures. And my wife and I have that happen all the time. We'll pull up to watch a TV show, and next thing you know, we're watching pictures of our daughter from like 4 years ago. We're like, oh, I forgot all about that. And then it's 45 minutes later, and we sat here and just watched the screensaver run. So
Okay.
it's one of the neat features.
So
Very cool.
I'll show you how I got my house set up, because I have the same HD Home Run 6-tuner box.
Okay.
Each of these TVs has a media center attached to it.
Which is a PC.
Yep. So I have 2 tuners assigned to this combination, 2 to this one. That laptop has a tuner dedicated for it, and then my girlfriend's laptop has a tuner dedicated to it.
You dedicate tuners.
Which means this stuff is stuff we recorded from. This is the stuff we might watch live. So I
You
can
don't
in
have
my
to
office.
dedicate though.
Okay.
This will be recording stuff.
Yeah.
But then I go, you know what? I want to watch something on this channel. I don't have to worry about taking a tuner away from here. I've got
Right.
one dedicated to my
Right.
laptop.
Okay.
And then she's got one dedicated to her laptop, so she can bounce around and watch what she wants that I may not care to see, but she doesn't care to record later either. And then we both have this for our shows.
Okay.
Jason, where are you getting the slide set up on that? Well, I've tried to, I used to have that, and I've not been able to succeed in getting it to work on Windows 7.
Get what?
You're talking about having the slideshow set up?
Yeah.
I have not succeeded getting it set up on mine.
It's also
But it doesn't do the slides I want.
So it's like
I haven't been able to get to go to the folders I want to go to.
Figured you'd ask.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Mine just does it by default.
Well, that's what mine used to do too. It used to do it by default, but now I can't get to do it anymore.
Did you change like where it stores stuff?
Not
There you go, slideshow
Yeah,
screensaver.
screensaver. It's under pictures, under settings,
Okay, see if you've actually forced it into something.
and then you could just. Lots of pictures is a screensaver. So it's set up by default. You can actually go in and customize it. So
Yeah.
in my case, I've gone in and told it to use a specific folder.
Use a specific folder in
Yeah.
there.
Specific folder.
So and you can pick more folders. You can tell it. You can rate your pictures depending on how you're organizing your photos.
Okay.
I
I have
have-
to go back in and try and see if I can sort out why it's not. Yeah, I lost it somewhere. I don't remember where in the process.
So like
I think it was
Kevin's,
with Windows 7 when
in
Windows
Kevin's
7
network
lost it.
versus my network. Now I have home server. I have a primary media center PC. So this is my WHS and then this is my primary media center. And then I have a secondary media center. This basically does all my recordings, and then from here I have an Xbox 360 extender. So, and then have the Xbox, which basically links to this and pulls all its data from there. But everything is then dumped here for recordings. And I have basically the home run. And I have I don't do dedicated tuners, so this is, because it's an extender, it's using the tuners from here. This is kind of my daughter's like playroom, and she basically watches Netflix and Horseland DVDs. So she can watch like Sprout and stuff, but she only really uses one tuner most of the time. Where this box here uses all 6. So it's kind of, I used to have more or less without the extender, so I had 3 separate media centers, and this one is basically I consider my primary, doing all the recording. But all my content, so all my movies, all my recorded TVs, photos, whatever else I want is stored on my home server, because I think I have like 8 terabytes of storage in it.
Okay.
Which is like the first sand I administered in like 2000. That cost us $500,000, and I did it for like $500, right? It's crazy. Of course, it's not Fiber Channel though.
So who else wants to get up there? Talk about a toy, show off the tools, whether it's web tool or piece of software they might have.
Do you want to show your bootable CD? Will it boot through the HDMI, or do we need to?
We can try.
Probably will.
I can mention a really
Did you get
cool
one?
data recovery
Yeah.
utility that I found this week that's really cheap.
Did you get one of these?
Okay.
Really did an
Do you
awesome
want,
job.
would you like it not
Had a raid that's corrupted the initial drive partition, and it corrupted both drives in here.
Okay.
So I get the data junk off the back that I really don't care about, but I can't get any of the primary data. So I started poking around online. It's like, okay, who's got a good utility that I can just download? It's called Zero Assumption Recovery, ZAR. It was $55. It took like 45 minutes, and it recovered all the data. I was amazed.
That's cool.
What was it? ZAR. ZAR? Z-A-R. Zero Assumption Recovery. It's $55 for a PC license forever. So if there are ever any upgrades to it, updates to it, those are included. A site license for it to put on as many PCs as you wanted was like $150.
Yeah.
So I used it the one time, it did exactly what I needed it to do. And it just cranked on its own, and I walked away and had a cup of coffee and watched the news. And
it recovered, was the RAID array just, pulled it off the array, or?
I pulled one drive. I pulled one drive out of the array. I had a USB hard drive adapter. Just plugged it in together. Plugged it into the PC that I downloaded it to. Let it run the utility. It gives you the option of which drive you want to select and what partition. And off it went. I mean, it does a quick scan to see what's out there, and then it churns sector by sector to see what it can recover and what it can't. There's a free version you can try, but you can only pull 4 directories. And I was like, I really only needed to pull 2 directories at the time. I'm like, let's see what it'll recover. When it was done, I'm like, $55? I've blown $55 on beer before. Yeah, I'm going to buy this and have this to use in my beer. But it was pretty cool.
Oh, well.
Probably. It's been a while since I've had to run a data recovery tool, but there's one that I bought it like 5 years ago, and it's a lifetime license. And I bought Get Data Back in TFS.
I tried that.
And that worked for me for years. And then I had to hit a fat drive, and I had to get Data Back fat.
Yeah.
You can buy them as a bundle, and it's cheaper. But at the time, I didn't need the fat version. Then I had to buy them.
I tried it.
Fat format, in TFS format, that's all.
What? When you see the fat?
Starting over.
It's been a while, but I had to
They're
recover.
all,
Yeah, I restarted it.
I downloaded and
Just
tried
'cause I was
it.
trying
The
to
free
get the
version
video
would
to
allow
work.
you to try it,
Because it doesn't want to seem
and
to
it did nothing.
find the source.
And that was the first one I tried. I hit somebody's blog and they were talking about data recovery and said, and that was the first one we mentioned.
Yeah.
Czar was the next one.
So far, if the drive spins, I can recover with that, but it's so rare anymore that I have to worry about it. Especially since I started using home server to back up my clients. Now it's storage server, it's just never been an issue. It's like I don't really care. I just put the drive in, restore it, move on. But yeah, I have had to use it.
No signal.
It's cool.
Yeah,
having
interesting.
those tools at our disposal
It might come
for
up
such a cheap
eventually.
price.
Oh, I-
Great for us.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if
Because nobody likes to hand a huge bill to your
find
client.
some other videos.
I figured that would
And
find the video
Czar
though.
also
Yeah.
makes
Because it's being
an
pushed.
Outlook EST.
Oh, just let it come up.
Yeah, they make some cool stuff. I
Nice.
forgot to mention, I didn't try anything else.
That one might be
Analysts
worth
start to
trying.
worry about
I
it.
don't know if
I'm
you
not
can
worried.
find Somebody that's got a PSP that's.
I use this for my backyard movies.
That's what we do. We do driveway movies, and I have a projector. That,
I got a big screen.
Yep.
It's like 90 inches, and we put monitors
yeah,
out.
I have like a big 10-footer.
Yeah.
I don't know how many inches it is, but
Just hang a big
10 foot's 120 there.
king size sheet out.
thanks. We were usually playing like Cars or something goofy like that. But I'm sure you guys have better movies.
Whatever you want.
Well, ours are more for the kids and the
Oh,
parents.
this
We
is
all
a-
sit in the
this is
driveway.
adults.
Yeah, this is all kids. They like. I have like a pit they kind of set up in front of them. They watch it, and then we sit around the fire pit.
I
And,
think the last one we did was Blazing Saddles.
Oh, no. And what neighborhood was that?
Huh?
In what neighborhood was that?
Mungo.
the one with the fence around it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That explains why the, what was it, Shutdown Cincinnati was there. Occupies, yeah.
Shut down.
That's why they're hanging out in Hyde Park.
So, is anybody doing Office 365 for clients yet?
Oh, hell no.
No.
Gmail.
Are you? Because you had the cool beanie and jacket?
No, actually, but I am actually because
I've
I
done
was
Gmail
Are
for
you like a
clients.
poster child?
I was doing well, I'm using Live at EDU for all my education because it's free. I have 1,500 mailboxes migrating
In
currently
between me and the
right now,
client,
and
they
it's
have
a
it.
3-day migration to move all the data.
We're done.
But then I actually started. I was using DNA
Ooh, nice
Mail,
background.
which I really liked. They got bought out by Sherwood, which is a bunch of guys that are a bunch of jerks. I've had nothing but problems. They can't reproduce the problems, and so
You
I
want to go
actually.
away. You're not big enough for them.
Well, I know I had several clients on it. I worked with an engineer for a month. He said he couldn't reproduce the problem. I finally got pissed off one day and did the quick evaluation so that I could resell Live at ED or Office 365 and the partner stuff. I'll tell you, I like it. It works great. Very easy migration. The interface is very simple. And if you use a small business, it's $6 a mailbox, which is the same price as Gmail right now.
Except for the free part.
No, Gmail's not free. If you change your domain and do business, it's $6 a month per mailbox.
There's a free part. If you go Gmail for business, yeah.
Right.
They still have the free version.
No, they don't. It's now $6 a month per mailbox. And go on their site and look. If you want to move your domain over and actually use it as a small business, it's the same price as the cheap version of the Office 365.
I'll double check that because last time I looked, it was just like within a
Well, that's what I was going to move to because I was like, it was free, and it was $6.
It depends on the number of boxes you have to have. It's like if it's under 25 boxes, it is.
No, they dropped it. It's under $10.
Is it under 10? Well, I'm okay with the ones I've got. They're under 10, so.
But Office 365, I sign up, use the $6 one. My clients like it. It's better than DNA Mail. And the Microsoft support team, I've had to call them for a couple things. One was just a client that had some Microsoft before and it caused a mail loop. And the service team was great. I spoke to people in the United States versus some French guys from Sherwood who were being jerks.
Well, if they're
No, if
French.
you're
like-
French.
They're French.
Should have known as soon as a French company
Should've known
bought
it
it,
was
we were
French guy.
screwed, right? So, yeah,
Get
that's.
that.
Go away, you silly English.
But if you would have threatened them, they wouldn't ran away.
Yeah, I wasn't happy, but I am really. I actually moved my infrastructure there, and I've been dumping Sherwood like left and right. So I know you're having problems
Yeah.
with them.
One issue,
So-
maybe I'll
so
look at
does
that.
You don't do Active Record integration?
No, I did Active Directory integration with Live at EDU. but it's not the federated server piece because the Live at EDU is actually separate from the Office 365 platform, and they do OL sync, which only just really syncs the directory up. It doesn't do the single sign-on services. Office 365 does do the federated services, but since most of the shops I've migrated are like 10 users, it's like, just make the password the same that they're using, and most of their passwords never expire anyways. So it's not worth it. You know, I have several of them that are small business servers that are 2003 and 08 that we've shut off Exchange on them and just moved it to the cloud. So actually, most of my small businesses I moved to home server because, you know, with a cloud service for email, there's really no point for SBS in them because they're like 10 users or less. So it works for my model. You know, I've done the federated server install.
Yeah, you know, where you've got a legal requirement to have password changes every 45 days.
Right, because you know if your password gets compromised day one, they have 45 days to still access all your data.
Exactly right.
Right, so you know that password reset thing works so well. Yeah, I love that. Whatever. Just use good passwords.
You know, I think that the other thing that's hitting a lot of people right now is that PCI is starting to enforce if you access the network, you're a service provider and access from outside, where's your two-factor authentication?
Yeah.
You gotta have either an RSA key or certificates issued or something like that. So makes remote access a whole lot more good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really starting to crack down on that PCI.
I'm seeing people actually get fined.
Well, they're starting to bill you if you don't do anything about it. They start adding fines. Basically, it's not a fine, it's a fee
Right.
until you comply. Then they drop the fee.
And then there's new PCI 2.0. So that one has added a new piece, which actually I kind of like. You know, there are a lot of companies that have, you know, a PC dedicated for, well, they don't have that PC, but they do just a web-based authentication. You type in the card. Well, they now have a simplified version that allows you to do that. The deal is it cannot be on the regular, it has to have a firewall between it and the rest of the network. It has to be dedicated, can't be used for anything else. But then it's okay, the requirements are almost nothing. But if you do want to have it on your network, then the requirements just double.
Do they accept it if it's in an ESX host and I virtualize it and I then virtualize an appliance that is a firewall and use it that way? Because it meets all the requirements for security. Because it's sandboxed.
Probably not.
But it's sandboxed.
Probably not, because I think IBM just yesterday released the number of vulnerabilities for escaping the hypervisor for VMware.
Yeah.